gangster reality. I don't think you know. I don't think you want it. Gangster, gangster, you like gangster things. Do you know what being a gangster brings? I don't think you know, but it sure looks good on the TV though. I know. Gangster, gangster, you like gangster things. Do you know what being a gangster brings? I don't think you know, but it sure looks good on the TV though. I know. My young future, you're limitless. Stay out the box, although you are the gift. Stay close like fingers in a mitt. Conditioning will make you think our gloves are better fit. Hollywood gangsters, the Godfather, Al Pacino on the wall. Why bother? Waste a nail like Edgar Hoover. It puts blacks in jail. Now that's gangster. Which red or blue pill? Both was the cops' answer. Recruited in a gang full of monsters. Uniform for unification. Enforced gang leaders' corruption. Staring at a picture of the queen while they're reading your sentence. And you thought Canada was independent. Now that's gangster. Salute. Gangster, gangster, you like gangster things. Do you know what being a gangster brings? I don't think you know, but it sure looks good on the TV though. I know. Gangster, gangster, you like gangster things. Do you know what being a gangster brings? I don't think you know, but it sure look good on the TV though. I know. The vibration of the language makes gangster disadvantage. Just enough to get you Willie Lynch. Doing 25 to life, now you blame Willie Lynch. Martin had a dream until he got pinched. Now they transfer the oath to the black president, signing off your rights in his white residence. It's all an act, but that's what you get for being black. An adjective like that, it's a trap to have you react like you're making real progress. But the change that they speak of, only in the banker's pockets. Now that's gangster. Ask Rockefeller and the Ringling Brothers who knocked down the towers. Now that's gangster. The funny part, we all know the answer. Rerun recordings with the same conclusions. I heard an explosion. Now that's gangster. It's not what seems to appear. The true gangster handle your civil affairs, but the uncivil appears gangster. Salute. Gangster, gangster, you like gangster things. Do you know what being a gangster brings? I don't think you know, but it sure looks good on the TV though. I know. Gangster, gangster, you like gangster things. Do you know what being a gangster brings? I don't think you know, but it sure look good on the TV though. I know.
Gangster, 50 Cent wannabes, Biggie Small puppets, calling themselves Muppets. Rapper gangster on lips kissing their boys. Smart is the new gangster, put down your toys. I might bring the ruckus, I will bring the noise. Distributing big weight, you must have poise. You must have cops in your pocket to be gangster. Running the treadmill like a street hamster. I don't think you know what news, so I'm telling. Snitch to your subconscious, your brain no need to get it. Keep doing your thing, I bet you're gonna get it from a bigger gangster than you with a bigger weapon. Lessons still not learned when the streets talk. Pig fist in your mouth, unconscious Moors eat pork. That's gangster. When he abuses his force, coming out the Trojan horse like Visigoths.
Gangster, gangster, you like gangster things. Do you know what being a gangster brings? I don't think you know, but it sure looks good on the TV though. I know. Gangster, gangster, you like gangster things. Do you know what being a gangster brings? I don't think you know, but it sure look good on the TV though. I know.
Five on the left, two on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth. Peace. Freedom. And justice. Allah is my protector. My guide. And my salvation. By night. And by day. His holy prophet. Noble Jawali. Islam.
before you start.
Yeah.
Great shirt.
They better stop. As usual, you want to pull that door? Noble Juali to be proclaimed at every meeting. Islam. I'm glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people on our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works which I have performed in the last few years. Prophet Noble Juali.
Islam.
Islam. To the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Islam. It is the instruction from your prophet, Noble Juali. Be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creed, that you will be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is now on, but the weak comprehend it not. The end of time is drawing near, so says Allah to his divine prophet, I, Noble Juali. And that's why many hearts have turned to stone. Many have eyes to see but cannot see, ears to hear but cannot hear, lest they will be confounded of their sins. These are trying hours now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid, and to cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of your forefathers, you fear not what you hear or see, but will sacrifice the utmost of your very life to protect your movement and your prophet. Watch your enemies, dear Moors. Your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the ones that speak against your divine and national principles of your temples. Act accordingly, and Allah will bless you for your good work. Peace, your divine prophet, Noble Juali. Islam.
Islam.
Just want to put it on the record that we got another notice from the library for Melissa L. Plas Bay, dated 23rd of May 2017. Billing notice that they got 31 bucks overdue fines. Right now, once again, these are individuals who they themselves took themselves out of this, right? Like they came to us and said, we don't want nothing to do with you guys no more because you guys dirty Moors or whatever. But they're still using here as their mailing location. Mm-hmm. Right? That stuff is coming to us. Right? Now, the first thing that you do when anybody quote unquote move is you go post office and then you tell them forward all their old mail to their new spot, wherever they're at. Right? So again, we're looking at individuals taking the L Bay, using it against their will, right? Using this how they feel that they wanna use it, right? And in turn, really doing it to themselves, because this is their free national name on here. There's not no, this is not, even though it's written in all caps, right? There should not be any outstanding anything under this name, regardless of how they write it, right? So every time we have interactions with the people out there, right? Knowing that they are exercising in fraud, certain things, you might want to just use the name that they already have and just reserve your rights. Instead of putting your free national name in a jurisdiction that it really shouldn't be in like that. Because if Moors are studious, then they respect libraries. They have supreme honor for libraries. We built them.
Islam.
So for you to have your free national name on some outstanding library stuff shows where these people's, like we were talking about in class before, about the motive versus their intentions. But oh yeah, you know, it's cool you come in the door, but you know, after you go outside, what are you doing with free national names and stuff? Are you going along with love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, or are you going along with other stuff and making up your own stuff and saying that that's what it is that you should be doing with the birthright? Which, at that point, the things actually fall on them. That's why Sister Roz always says, you know, just make sure you get out of the way when the scimitar swings the other way. Don't get these people's judgment because you want to play unity with dirty people. Because scimitar's coming for those people's head, guaranteed. Scimitar's coming. We had maybe 3 or 4 Moors that left, come back to repent. Right? Because they realized that once you, it's just like Drew Ali said, you know, it's better if you didn't put your hand on the plow in the first place. What's the sense even touch the plow if you're not going to do the whole field? They get excited, oh yeah, the plow, and then they see it's 500 acres that they got to plow by hand, and now they don't want to plow anymore. Why you touch it for then? Right? So it's the same thing with this. You're going to say, yeah, Moorish American, proclaim my nationality. Okay, you're national? All right, then you got to be doing certain things on the frequency that this is. Or it's only going to come back on yourself. It's not going to come back on the Moors or the temple or whatever like that. But people have this thing that, well, you know, nothing's going to come back on them because they have this newfound knowledge or whatever. There's still karma. You know, the devil might not be there no more. There's no pitchfork guy anymore, but evil follows evil. Good follows good. Right? So we're going to be putting our put our notice into them. Just that we don't know who you're talking about. You need to go find these people and stop bothering us with their stuff.
It's like for one thing, when people ask me, oh, but how can I get my card? One of the first things I have to tell them, the card is the least, is to know what it does or how to use it.
Exactly.
And you know, I can't tell you that. That take years of knowing what to do. How can I tell you in 2 seconds how it works?
Right.
You gotta study, know it. Like, so it's like those, that person, that individual now, they just grasp a little bit, get their card, and they're flying over.
Right. And now they're which is the angle that these particular people, that's the angle they came in on.
Yeah.
Because they had issues. Right? And I mean, they had issues that they were here, you know what I mean, groveling and stuff like that. Right? They had to have the box of tissue next to them. They had issues. Right? Assisted, now keep in mind, they got assisted with their issues. It's not like, look, oh, that doesn't matter, don't do that, or, you know, just you know, do what they say or whatever like that. We assisted them with the issue. Issue got resolved. then still they're gonna, then clearly they didn't want nothing to do with this in the beginning. It was just about their issue. But you know, again, we don't own people's birthright.
No.
We don't, well, you're not getting that card and stuff like that, right? Now, instances where we take that position was, for example, people who say, you know, they want to proclaim their nationality, whatever, and then they're not around, and then every time they come around, all they want is their card. That never came yet, you know what I mean? Now, mind you, half the time we have a card in the back. We just want to see how real these people are with their claim. Are you really, really on birthrights? Or are you just here to get some handout, some tool to use? And then, you know, you have no knowledge of the tool that you're using, so it's a useless tool anyways. The tool serves no purpose now. If you're not taking the position of recognizing what the tool is, what it's used for, and how you can get maximum use out of the tool. Without those things, tool's useless. Which again goes back to what you're saying about, you know, people coming into this with the idea that it's about the things that you get. It's about we got the land, it's about we got the plates, and we got the card, and we got the fezzes, and we got the turbans, and we got, no, none of those stuff. If your mindset isn't ancient foremothers and forefathers. Mindset has to be ancient foremothers and forefathers. For the stuff to even mean anything. There's too many mores that don't even use the stuff. They don't even use the card. They'll be behind the wheel of something and not use the card when they get stopped and have no issues. Because they're going with this from what are they exuding. And they've gotten to the point where licenses, birth certificates, certain instruments are not even things that are mentioned like how I just mentioned. That's how disassociated they are from the corporate mindset of using certain words, making sure you know what you say when you say it, don't say certain things, address people in their, you know, personal capacity, not in their what badge they got or whatever like that, and they don't have any problems. Because they're dealing with it from knowledge first. And as soon as we recognize that it's knowledge first, as soon as we go back to that first maxim in the universal laws, all is mental. So as soon as we start there, then we can move forward into other stuff. If we can't get over the fact that all is mental, that everything that happened out here is because of what was in here. Whatever it is out here. As soon as we get there, then all the things are not going to have that much hold on us. That we need these things in order. We need the papers and the card in order to be Moors. You don't need that. That's just an example of where are you mentally. What level are you on mentally? Oh, you're on the level where you have something other than a birth certificate or a license? Okay, you're on a different level. The majority of people have that. It's like on the weekend went to Enterprise for a car rental, right? And they're saying that, well, because this is our private company, right? Because this is our private company, we choose which type of ID we accept or not accept. Because I was asking them about rentals with natives. You know, do you guys rent to natives? Like, not really, because half of them aren't even around here. They're on the reserve. They don't rent cars or whatever. There wasn't even anything that was in their mind that
what if
there's natives around, you know what I mean, right? So I was like, okay, so, for example, you know, if you talk to police or whatever, they'll say 2 forms of ID is proper identification, whether it's a license and whatever, or something else. Doesn't matter. Once you have 2, that has the same address, same pictures and all that stuff, okay, that's ID. Well, that's not our policy or whatever like that. Our policy is you have to have a license. Okay, what kind of license? Doesn't matter. It just has to be a quote-unquote state-issued license. And then now they added in that even the if you have one driver and then you have other drivers, all the other drivers have to have a license and a credit card too. You have multiple drivers, right? So the idea of license being identification, when it's really not for that purpose, is a common theme anywhere. Just like fiat currency's common theme. There's things that have been accepted as the norm, right? Canada not being part of North America is something accepted. Canada's a country somewhere, but they never tie Canada to North America in that context, because then that broadens the perspective and makes Canada realize that it's really this big. It really doesn't have the power that it has. So as the people start to recognize that it's a mental thing first. As soon as you realize that it's a mental thing first, you realize how important studying is. How important making sure that you're reading things and that you're picking up something and reading it, or you're opening it, or you're buying books, or whatever it is. Because if you're not getting the knowledge and you're not letting the knowledge marinate in your mind and you think about certain things or whatever like that, then it's just information. It's just collection of data just to have stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, why have books on a shelf and you're not reading them? Right? It's important that you read them, because all is mental. So we don't know when we read something what it's going to trigger within us. There's some things that you read certain books, or you read it might not even be a particular book of your liking or whatever, but something in there is going to speak to you, regardless of what it's about. There's a line, there's a phrase, there's a paragraph, there's something that the fact that you picked up that book, there's something that you were supposed to get out of it for yourself, which is going to lead you a little further down that path. Because only with self-realization are you going to continue to proceed on the path. Only are you inspired that, oh, you know what I mean? You know, like when you say, you know, you went to the store, put on a nationality card, and you got taxes off for the first time. They realize that, oh, it really works like that for real. Well, then every time now, we're going to be doing it, right? So the routine has been ingrained through what Noble Drew Ali taught, that Moors have to be studious. You have to study. When you finish studying, you know what to study next, reply, study yourself. And that's going to lead you into a whole different world of study that you didn't even fathom, you didn't even interact with when you were doing the first 3 studies. When you start studying yourself now, it's going into a different place, right? The Native American Mascot Controversy, edited by Richard King, and it's a book of articles on the subject of the whole thing with the mascots, and you know, how come the mascots look certain ways or whatever. One thing when you're doing the research on the quote-unquote native mascots that are used for sports teams or whatever, all those so-called images were initially brown, and then they changed them to red or lighter color. So if you go to vintage Chicago Blackhawks jersey, you have a brown Indian. But then today, now you have a lighter Indian. And then, but then the people who are arguing the mascot controversy are arguing about the lighter Indian. They're not going back to the vintage Chicago Blackhawks and saying, you know, why are you guys using the culture like that on that stuff? They're only doing it on the revised versions, which brings these so-called natives who aren't really the natives into this idea of they have some say in the Americas, when they're foreigners just like everybody else, right? And also the idea that there's a lot of information relative to who the natives really are. The people talking about it is few, right? But when the few do talk about it, they speak on megalithic levels with regard to who these so-called natives are, right? And majority of them go back to the fact that it's majority of them go back to the fact that it's the so-called black people or whatever that are the natives. The classified Negro Black 14th Amendment, whoever people are the actual natives.
This morning I was at the gas station and the gentleman inside there, I think he's somewhere from the Middle East. You know they always have the gas station. And he never seen these cards, so he said to me, what I told him it's a Native American. And then he started talking about it, the native whatever. And he's saying to me, but over here is Canada. I said, remember, it's North America. And then he said, oh yeah, it's same America, North America. And now I tried to tell him that the native that they talk about up north, how could you be native Canadian when you're native supposed to be from ancient and Canadian just be 150 years now?
Right.
Or you make that.
Make the connection.
Or you put that together.
Right.
Then he said, you're right. It's like, you never see it that way. But now you realize what I'm talking about. Because
Right.
Canada is 150 years old, and the native is way before us come to what native's supposed to be. And it doesn't match, So he himself not realize it, that it doesn't match. So I told him that is to distract the real native from who they are.
Exactly. And majority of them, it's just like when you bring up, it's similar to, you know, things with like the Fez and certain things that they see us doing, or even talking about original place names that people in their own culture would have forgot these place names, and you bring them up to them and they start relaying to you that, hey, how do you know that? How do you know about that history? You're not supposed to know about that or whatever, because it's that time right now of information being put out there. Whoever wants to know, no problem. You can know whatever you want right now. Who wants to remain ignorant? No problem, because the hole's only gonna get deeper that you have to pull yourself out of as far as being in ignorance. Like not knowing is gonna be majority of people's downfall. Majority of people's. Once again, the Ancient American magazine. This is issue number 8. Ancient American magazine. Just to stress the point that these individuals are very aware of who's who and what's what. And again, it's our people that really have the problem with getting it, right? Simon Wiesenthal, the famed Nazi hunter, came to the conclusion that Colin was indeed a Jew and wrote a book in 1973 titled The Secret Mission of Christopher Columbus. Wiesenthal notes that some of the evidence is ambiguous and capable of more than one explanation, but he concludes that Colin was Jewish. Wiesenthal, a strong Zionist, may have had other than purely scholarly reasons in postulating Jewish origins of Christopher Columbus. Editor. Other investigators, including Spanish ones, have come to the same conclusion. It is worth noting that the name Christopher is from the Latin and means Christ bearer, so that Colin would have a different name as a Jew. However, we have no idea what the name would be. The final point needs to be raised about the Spaniard versus Italian. The known lives of the Italian Colombo and the known life of the Spanish Colin can be compared, and they don't match. Chapman, following many writers before him, presents this as his first argument, that the two men were different, although confused as one. The confusion stems from the certain origins of Colin, of course, and it has taken much research to get a clearer picture of Colin. Colin's writing shows that he was a native speaker of Catalan, not Italian. It is very likely that Colin was born in Catalonian, either on the Spanish mainland, such as in or near Barcelona, or on the island of Majorca. The native Spanish birth of Colin clears up one otherwise puzzling element. Colin refers in his diaries to several Arabic writers, uses the Arabic mile in measurement, uses a vocabulary with Arabic words. An Italian would not naturally do these things, but a Spaniard whose country had been occupied by Arab Moors would be surrounded by Arab influence. Right? Now, how is it that Ancient American magazine is making reference to these people these people who inspired so-called Colin, but he's identifying them as Arab Moors, same way like Dr. Ben identified the Arabs as Arab Moors. And that anytime people are starting to talk about Arabic and Islam, and they're going into all these Muslim things, and they're starting to show you pale people going to Mecca and doing Ramadan and all that stuff, that's not the Arabs that we refer to when we say Arab Moors. When we say Arab Moors, we refer to the ancient people of those lands. The people who everybody knows that if you classify the individuals there as Moors, you're talking about dark-skinned people. If you're talking about land called Moors, you're talking about dark, rich soil. If you're talking about Moors, you're talking about docking a boat, because Moors were the ones who navigated the globe. They go on in another article, Russell Bennett Stafford, Ancient Egyptian Impact on Native Americans. One sure way to arouse the enmity of professional archaeologists in the USA is to suggest that Christopher Columbus was not the first to reach the Western Hemisphere from the so-called Old World. So entrenched is their dogma that it is blindly accepted by government, schools, and the media. However, there is abundant evidence to demonstrate that the ancient Egyptians, among others, visited these shores long before 1492. The following examples represent only some of the dozens of proofs discovered in the book of research, The Magic Pyramid. This article is based upon that research. An Egyptian beetle god, Khenti, Khenti, was chief of the Mosquet, Mosquet, a bull skin in which human resurrection was believed to have taken place. In the Western Hemisphere, a buffalo hide is still used in Native American resurrection ceremonies, while among the Hopi, beetles are associated with the dead. Sebek was the Nile crocodile god who was worshipped by the Tanaches or Aztecs as Cipactli, Sipaktli, an alligator god. To celebrate the replacing of the demonic Sebek by Asar, the god of rebirth, ancient Egyptians wore a single feather in their hair. This custom likewise occurs among several Native American tribes. Manitou was the special protector of Egypt and its kings. He was the war god from Uaset, who performed acts of heroism. Called Horu with a strong arm, he magically transformed into a bull god, Bok, B-O-K-H, a simultaneous incarnation of Ra, the sun god, and Asar. Manitou resembles another man god, the falcon-headed Ra-Hor Akuti, who wears a crown comprising a cobra with a solar disk flanked by 2 feathers. His skin was red, and he was symbolized by a pair of feathers worn in the hair of his followers, who sometimes hung them from a round shield mimicking the sun. In the Americas, the Algonquins worship a great spirit or supreme being named Kitshi, Kitshi Manitou, Kitshimanitou. He is likewise venerated by the Canadian Matagne people. Several American Indian tribes wear pairs of feathers in their hair to show worship to Kitshi Manitou. The Egyptian Aman means I endure, I am the mound, I am very perfect, my daily offering, my monument, my flame, my lake, the west. He was also known as the Hidden One, one of 111, an invisible god in heaven. Amen was one of the 4 frog-headed creation gods who is sometimes confused with Amen, the devil. Aman was king of the gods, lord among lords, king of kings, the type of invisible universal deities water worshipped in Western religions. Strangely enough, Budge's hieroglyphic dictionary lists Iroquois as a name of Aman, I-R-O-Q-O-A-I, Iroquois. America's Iroquois nation initially had 5 tribes. Do these represent the 5 totem animals Budge associates with Aman? Pati, P-A-U-T-I, was a primeval god who created himself and all that is. He ruled Upper and Lower Egypt. Pati Tawi was a title of Amun-Ra. As an agent for this very early god, this title means the beginning of time, primeval time, the time of creation. In the Western Hemisphere, Patiwa is the chief council of deities among the Ashiwis, according to Tyler. Patiwa symbolizes the sun's father's power, kindness, dignity, and beauty. In the village of Zunyi, Patiwa is associated with Katsinas, spiritual figures. He is present during ceremonies celebrating the solstices. There's Dr. Omar on the solstice celebrations.
Read that part again, the last one.
In the village of Zunyi, Patiwa is associated with Katsinas, spiritual figures. He is present during ceremonies celebrating the solstices. Patiwa, P-A-U-T-I-W-A, chief council of deities. Right, so check the archives in the Ancient American magazine website. Should be there somewhere. check the archives because they got mad stuff in there. And you know it's real because the archive building have a website. But Ancient American Magazine. Anybody got any questions before we get into the questions? This is from Tariq Bey.
See you there.
Tariq Bey. Look, brothers and sisters, I have been patient and waiting for someone to show and prove these RV-based style civics actually work in court or administration or anywhere. Here is the reality behind the paperwork. And it goes into somebody complaining about someone took their child or whatever and RV Bay didn't help. So
This is from a Tariq Bey who's saying that
they're basically saying, you know, the as they call it, RV Bay style civics. So we'll just, since we have access to Google, we'll just see RV Bay civics. Let's just see what comes up.
you Google.
RV Bay civics. So, first thing that comes up is the website, rvbaypublications.com. Now, one thing we're going to stress again to people is that this idea of RV-based civics, Taj Tariq-based civics, RV Bay nationality cards, and anything else relative to Taj Tariq Bay or RV Bay's quote-unquote teachings, it must be understood that there are no mores personally to date that can top this track record, right? The RV Bay Publications track record of being the first online Moorish university and Taj Tariq Bay for being master teacher for active Moors. Right? There's no claims that nobody can claim these other than these people. Now, when we look at RV Bay publications and the not necessarily the work that they put in that people know about, because there's work that goes in with these people behind the scenes, being somebody behind the scenes, that don't think that, you know, their job every day is just update some website. Don't think that, you know, Drew Ali with, you know, need 16 secretaries and stuff does not apply to this because they're not calling themselves Moor Science Temple or something like that, right? This is something that was needed at a time when there was zero info. At a time when Taj Street Bay, we also put up here Grand Sheet Nature. Grand Sheet Nature Bay and Taj Street Bay were the most hated Moors amongst Moors that were in the temple, that were reincarnated, that were saying that, you know, Noble Ali didn't teach certain stuff and all that. The information that they were putting out in, say, 2003 to 2009, 2010 was directly involved with this idea that we have today of people saying that certain Moors activity is connected to sovereign citizen movements and stuff like that. Because these were the individuals who were first pushing this idea that we actually have certain rights that we should be exercising. Not only do we have certain rights that we should be exercising, but if these rights are violated, we can actually go to that building right over there and sue all these people. Right? Another one to put up there as well, Brother Alim. Because around this time as well, 2003 to 2009, and keep in mind 2003 to 2007, we weren't in the Moorish movement yet, right? There was nothing like this out here. 2004, 2005, after seeing a lecture by Umar Shabazz, we brought Brother Alim here to do metaphysical lectures, because that was our first introduction to him. Forget Elbe and what's Amor and all that stuff. It was metaphysics initially, right? Alim Elbe is another one of those Moors that, because of the activity that they took, the position that they took of, you know what, as Moors we have certain rights, and we have a right to exercise these rights. Once we're dealing with things according to, you know what I mean, universal law and certain things. The exercise of rights was so profound with these individuals, right, with Brother Alim, that in his coming here to do a lecture, he came here on Moorish plates to do his lecture. This is 0506, right? And anybody want to go, just go check. He got a website and all that stuff. He has a Facebook page. Go ask him, right? If it's for those people, say just like the same individual that's making stuff about, oh, this doesn't work, court's not recognized and all that stuff like that. Well, okay, how about the Moors near North Carolina that were with Alim Bey during the same time frame that were shutting down courts in North Carolina. That Moors go there, court Monday, Tuesday, courts locked, doors closed because of activity that they were involved in. Grand Sheep Nature, Asbury Park, sued the whole police department, put it in the newspaper, that clearly there's corruption going on. If these people are going to go to lengths that they went with Grand Sheep Nature and Taj Street Bay when they sued them, and all the stuff that is taught by RV Bay, Taj Street Bay, Grand Sheep Nature, Alim El Bay, Noble Drew Ali, constitutional enforcement. Enforce the Constitution. Enforce the Constitution. Because once you enforce the Constitution, you can hold these people at bay. What did they do with Grand Sheep Nature and Taj Street Bay and Great Seal Moore Science Temple of America that was suing a quote-unquote municipality? The municipality said diversity of citizenship is their defense. And said, these guys can't sue us because we're diverse to them. And then judge said, case dismissed. But that's the same argument that Morris bring up. Diversity of citizenship. Conveniently, they can't do it, but whoever was getting sued, that's what they used to get off of it. Case dismissed. Same stuff that, and again, goes back to the thing of do mores win. Forget do mores win. What argument wins in court? The argument of diversity of citizenship, which Taj Street Bay teaches, which Natural Bay teaches, RV Bay teaches, Alim Bay teaches. Because we're Aboriginal Indigenous people, we're diverse to anybody else that's here, especially if they're claiming some type of authority. The concept of saying they're going to argue diversity of citizenship, just the fact that they made that argument shows the power in the Morris argument. Because they could have argued anything. There's multiple things they could have argued to prove their point. They went into the factual information about, well, he's not really in nature. His birth certificate says this name, and this guy's birth certificate says that name, and they're sovereign, and they have nothing to do with the Moorish Science Temple that was founded because it's supposed to be a corporation, blah, blah. Go through all the BS to come down to the end to say diversity of citizenship is our argument, after they put all the other stuff out there. Right? That's proof enough that what Moors teach is right and exact. If these people are going to use it to get off a suit from Moors, and then the suit not sticking because of them making that argument or claiming that defense, that way, sorry, you can't sue us because we're not equal to you, right? So be open to people coming out to try to discredit who Moors would say are the master teachers.
Can I put something on the record?
Yes, Moore, go ahead.
I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I met a speculative Mason last evening, and they're using this information, RV Bay, in their halls right now to go to court.
So, again, for the people who say,
So-
just like we said just now, Asbury Park police, when they got sued by Great Seal, Morris Science Temple of America, their counterclaim was diversity of city. They didn't even claim anything.
Yep.
They said, we're gonna use the stuff that the Moors use to get off the Moors trying to sue us.
So his question to me was, had a friend who went in there, he did this stuff, but he got kicked out, and I don't think it really works for us Masons. I said to him, like, the question I had to him, and it was like a 5-minute pause.
Yeah.
I said, is your friend still out right now? Pause, like, he didn't say anything, just looked at me for a good 5 minutes
Yeah.
straight. I didn't say anything because obviously it's on him now.
You mean out right now?
In other words, he went in, stated who he was. I'm in propria persona. He didn't say that he's a Bay or L, but he just said he's a Moor, he's in propria persona, and you don't have any jurisdiction over me.
That's what he said.
That's what he
So
said.
what did you mean by, is he out now?
That my question to him was, is he out? So in other words, is he
Kidnapped.
Is he kidnapped? Is he in there? Is he serving any time? Did he get his ass kicked anymore? He didn't answer. Because he realized that he said,
He got caught.
so he said to me, and this is as I said, like, I have his number right here, y'all want to call him. He said to me, so you tell me I've been paying dues for the past 5 years and you have this information, all you did was just study? You need to tell me that the guys inside there, they know most of this information, and I've been begging them for information all this time. All you've been doing was just studying?
That's it. Study,
You talking
study,
about
study.
in the hall?
In the halls.
We have a prophet. So our prophet told us to do.
So you need to tell me that as a Mason, I'm a Moor? These were the questions that he was like throwing at me. So I'm trying to enjoy the session right now. I didn't even come here to build, but
No building right now.
I said, with all due respect, what is a Moor? He's like, well, isn't a Moor one of those people that... I said, listen, let's get down to words. A Moor is a dark-skinned person. Are you a dark-skinned person? Yes, that's it, period, done. He's like, but a Mason though? I said, Mason is my son, what? There's mother, your son, what? I just kept it simple like that.
Yeah.
But going back
Point.
to RV Bay, Taj Tariq Bay, all that, he was like, so you need to tell me that information with Taj Tariq Bay and those guys is real? I was like, yeah, we're free white persons. He's like, well, I'm not white. I said, again, you guys learn Ma'at in there, right? He's like, yeah. And Ma'at, they speak about the colors. White is purity, and purity is light. I said, okay, so what are you?
So what do you want? What do you want?
Like, another pause. I said, good, pause for a good 10 minutes so I can enjoy this session.
Where were you at?
It was out in Scarborough,
Okay.
like out there by Meadowville. There was this lady, she was just having a wedding session.
Okay.
So, he was just there, and he says, for some reason, I came over to your table for some reason, and now I know the reason. For the past 5 years, he's been paying, and this is something obviously that I bring out as well in regards to dues and donations.
Yeah, right.
And
Religiously, he's been paying his.
he's been paying.
Yeah.
And if you don't pay, you get suspended, you get kicked out. Said, no, I need to pay because I need that information. I need to get more information. You need to tell me all this time. All I had to do was just study.
Right.
I didn't have to go to anybody to get any information. Just go study. Which books should I read? I a whole bunch of books. He's like, you mean to tell me these books? I said, yeah, bro. At the end of the day, it's on you to get what you need to get. Just go study.
Can't talk or can't be
That's it.
spoken to.
Because I asked him a couple weeks ago, I can't say anything because I said, listen, I know the answer. I'm just asking you because you just told me what I wanted.
You just gave me the answer.
You just gave me the answer. And you're bound by that.
Bound.
You're bound by that oath. That
Bound
you
like
can't.
some witchcraft chicken foot.
Listen,
Why?
bruh.
Bound.
Right? So, going back to Tosh to meet Bay, RB Bay and all that, everybody out there is studying these people.
Yep.
Everybody. Everybody is studying them. They just don't understand how to apply it because they do not put their nationality on the record. And that's the issue that a lot of people
the
have.
issue that they're having with the pauses with them. Yeah.
So, whoever this individual asking the question, oh, RB-based civics doesn't work or whatever, you do not and you have not put your status on the record.
Right.
You just put the information on the record. But in order for you to use that information, your status has to come first, period. And that's where we always start: status, jurisdiction, then we get to adjudication if you have to get there. Just like this quote unquote Mason, he's just speculative.
Yeah.
That's it.
Speculating.
That's all. So as I said,
That's
he's
all it
called me
is.
like 4
Nothing
times
in
since last
operation.
night,
Yeah.
and it's that. Like I said, we always put ourselves in the position to get this information
Yeah.
of other unproclaimed Moors out there. I said, so his last question to me was, so all I have to do is proclaim my nationality, and I could get out of this stuff. I'm not saying that.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. I didn't have to take any oath.
Yeah.
I didn't have to bow down to anybody. I didn't have to do anything. All I had to do was 5 fingers on the left, 2 fingers on the right, and that's it. Done.
Study.
And study.
And study. And then study and then study.
And then that's it.
You'll be alright. Alright?
And that's it. Islam.
And that was brother Hassan sent that because you have the other thing with these individuals too is that their venting is always social media stuff where people don't have pages, and if you're not their friend you can't see what they say and stuff like that, so they can talk crazy.
Question.
Right? Huh?
What does Islam mean?
All right, that's a good question. So Islam means peace. And then if we make Islam an acronym, I, self, law, am, I, self, law, and master. Now, do you know what this is? Peace? What's peace? You say peace. What's that mean to you?
Peace is how brothers say hello and goodbye.
All right, I'll take that as an answer. Okay. So peace. So whenever you say, when Moors say this, what they're really saying is peace. And then peace is just like what you said, a greeting. Instead of saying hello or goodbye, we say Islam. Just like somebody else says hello or goodbye, but they don't say Islam. You get that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when we see each other, what are we going to say? Or what? All right. Okay, now let's try this one. I, self, law, and master. You know what I is? Okay, I is you. Right? Self is also you. So I self means that you, law, is how you conduct yourself. So the law is how you conduct yourself. So if you act, how does your dad tell you to act, good or bad?
Good.
All right. So the law for you is to act good. So I self, law, am master. Now what? Now if you have to do something good, what does your dad tell you have to do?
Chores.
Okay, let me put it different. If you're gonna get if you're gonna get a test, what do you have to do to pass the test?
Answer the questions.
Answer the questions wrong or right.
Right.
Okay? And how do you know the answers to the questions? What did you do to know the answers?
Study.
All right. So when you study, you become a master. Right? So I self, law, and master. You have to study to be good, to be a master at being good. So that way you can do no bad. And when you do no bad, then that's peace. When you do no bad, that's no bad stuff is gonna happen. Because when you do bad things, then bad things are gonna follow you. But if you do good things, then what?
Good things.
All right. So, what would happen if everybody went around and instead of saying Islam, they said, I hate you when they see you? What's gonna happen?
Everything's gonna get
Everything's gonna get bad, right? So in order to have things good, what do we say? Has things been good? Things good or bad? Good? Yeah? You think it's because you say this? Or you're not sure yet? Alright, we'll find out though. Don't worry. Good question though. Anybody else? Or to add on to that? So that was again this is the avalanche of lies that Noble Drew Ali talked about that Moors are gonna have to be dealing with, because Moors didn't take the position of telling their own story. They always wanted somebody else to tell their story for them. And in them telling their story for them, the story didn't get told. Or the story got told distorted. And then now everybody has this distorted version of the story. And, you know, that's why we're telling people to go check the archives. Go check the archives and see what people had to say about indigenous people here, so that we can have a better perspective of what it means to be who we are, or with people who are diverse our nationality, realizing what it is that has to be done on their part in order to turn this thing around. Because remember, like, we got no King Alfred here, but like in King Alfred's plan, the poor whites are under the minority. So there's no escape really when it's time for violate people's rights. Poor people, regardless of how they look, are going to be in there, in the violation lane. So for everybody, it takes making sure that you adhere to the principles of your ancient foremothers and forefathers. It's like we say with Moors that want to keep, you know, like holding Europeans out of this information, like they're not supposed to know too. like this information can't do anything for them, this is only for Moors. No, this is world information. That was just like watching a video earlier with a brother that was dressed like a native, right? He's just exercising his native culture or whatever. And he bumped into some lady from some Muslim country that, I don't know if he was at the airport or if he was somewhere, but he bumped into this lady. This lady ran up on him like, oh my gosh, I just wanted to tell you thank you for letting me come into your country or whatever. Because we know that you're the native people, and you know what I mean? You know, not all Muslims are terrorists, and you know, we just want to live in peace, and we just want to, but I just wanted to thank you so much, you know, for being there, letting us come to your country, because, you know, without you, my grandparents wouldn't, and my grandchildren wouldn't this, and my, like, crying her eyes out to this dude. On some, we recognize Aboriginal, Indigenous culture. We're not even from here, but since I see you, you know what I mean? I don't see anybody else around here that looks like no Indians. Was a brother, right? And laid it out on him. So so we're dealing with a particular agency that's against people's rights being respected, right? This is why we have our door open. Yeah, Europeans can come in here, come learn. Why not? They're paying mortgages too to foreign corporations who are violating them. They're paying tickets too to foreign corporations who have no jurisdiction over anybody around here. They don't have any jurisdiction over people like that. Just to violate them just because they have a particular instrument in their pocket, so they're going to take advantage of them. This is not something that could work. Especially if these people, just like Noble Drew Ali was saying in the literature, you know, Moors, seen Chinese, Turks, list of people be part of the Moorish Science Temple. And the Europeans come into the temple like, yo, where's Noble Drew Ali? I just want to tell him thanks for saving me all this money with the bank crash. And then they find out he's dead and they're crying and stuff like that. Clearly he had an impact on them. If they're going to be going to that length to whatever it was that he told them, take your money out of the banks and all that stuff, system's going to crash. The Europeans like, well, I'm going to just listen to this guy. I don't know, you know, who knows? Maybe he was going to classes, maybe, who knows? But this European had so much faith in the Prophet that he actually did it. Took the money out of the bank. Stock market crashed. Right? And on in the Arab circles, it's multiple Europeans, not just one guy in oral statements. It's multiple Europeans that were coming to the temple like, yo, where is this guy at? Like, where is he at? Oh, he died or whatever. What do you mean? What do you mean he died? They just talked to him 2 days ago. How did he die and all? And again, you know, you're dealing with people who have removed. It's like when you look at so-called the Christianity and all that stuff, and you see these people got European on the wall. Say that's the Son of God or whatever. Mm-hmm. Then Revelations tells you some totally different description. And the book description that they say they follow, they're not going with that. They're going to go with some other stuff that came from, who knows where it came from, but the book that they got, that they walk around with, they're not going with what that says. Completely removed the facts out the way. Like, took the facts out the way, replaced it with fiction, and then fiction is now what's reality. And it's coming back around again where the fiction is now getting took off and the true stuff is getting put back. And they can't even fight it. And again, it goes back to the whole thing with, you know, even though it's a negative, you still got the social media, all this stuff where, you know, people got their phone all the time and they might get pictures of certain stuff that they might not have got before. Now you're seeing the Pope praying to a Black Madonna and stuff like that. You're actually seeing him do it. But then he comes out and he says, yeah, you know, shows pictures of Europeans or whatever, but then he's playing to the Asiatic one. And they're not crossing over. The pictures online with him. It's like they're gonna say the one is it up there? The one with all the Mexicans or whoever, they're holding up a picture of Noble Drew Ali.
You don't have that.
Yeah, there's one that said.
I think it was up there. I think it might
So
be.
that's the Moro, not Filipino.
No, there's a different. There's another one.
I don't
There's
think
another
we have
one,
that.
right? And there's got this. They got some parade or something. They got a picture of him parading down the street. Just part of their stuff. Just recognize this man too, right? So it's known. It is very well known who the enemy is and who the brothers and sisters are. And all the brothers and sisters have to do is realize, you know what I mean, what it is. And start treating themselves like enemies and treating the enemy like their best friend. Right? And stuff will start turning around more than what it is already. Any comments, questions?
Actually, put something on the record again.
No more.
I just got invited. Here's a friendly reminder. You are invited to MSTA class meeting today. Sunday, May 28th, class starts at 1 p.m. sharp. I'm going to put it on the record. Call 647-794-0898 to join the class. Please have a charged phone. If you have a computer, join the class by adding URL www.uberconference.com at Noble Drew Ali Learning.
Well, just put that out again, just so the Moors. Hey, Moors, this is for you Moors out there who like to, you know, infiltrate the stuff just to see what's going on.
Oh, this girl and I can have a good talk.
Just,
Here's a friendly reminder. You are invited to MSTA class meeting today. Sunday, May 28th, class starts at 1 p.m. sharp. Call 647-794-0898 to join the class. Please have a charged phone. If you have a computer, join the class by adding URL uberconference.com at Noble Drew Ali Learning.
At Noble Drew Ali Learning?
No, just / Noble Drew Ali Learning.
Those are your friends?
My friend? Well, okay. The sender is my friend. Well,
Must be, right? You're receiving the message.
I'm just receiving a message from
Their friend or our acquaintance.
from a friend that got it from
So you're a
a
friend.
friend.
So you're a friend. I just want to be clear. You know?
Yeah, I have to have a word with this girl.
Let me just sip this coconut water.
I have another question.
Please, thank you.
1 sec, let me get to this quick fast. So googleconference.com / Noble Drew Ali Learning.
Uber conference.
Uber.
Sorry, Uber conference. UBER conference.com.
uberconference.com / Noble Drew Ali Learning.
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure those are the $5,000
I'm sure of it too.
nationality card Moors. Right, so just make sure when you go on uberconference.com / Noble Drew Ali Learning that you ask them about their $5,000 bills that they charge people for nationality papers that they got from this temple for free. Just remember,
So these are Brampton guys?
probably, I don't know nobody
There's no
else
probably.
talking
It
about.
is, man. Stop it. Stop it. It is. There's no probably not.
Right.
It is.
So just make sure you ask about that 5,000, or let's just say, just so we can be fair, 1 to 5,000.
Or whatever you've got, right?
Oh yeah. All right. Question, young man.
What does Noble Drew Ali mean?
What does Noble Drew Ali?
What does it mean?
So, Noble Drew Ali's born name was Timothy Drew, right? When he started teaching the so-called black people that they're not black people, that they're Moors, he took on the name Noble Drew Ali. Drew, now there's literature amongst the Moors where Noble Drew Ali said that all old business, keep it in your old name, and all new business, do it in your free national name. Right? So free national name, right? Are you black?
No.
All right. So if you're not black, then you're supposed to have a free national name, right? Free national name. You know what free is?
Yes.
What's free?
Free is it's like freedom.
All right.
Free like
Good.
freedom.
All right. So you have a freedom name, right? So his freedom name is Noble Drew Ali. Drew comes from here, right? Ali so because his name's Ali, that's a free title of nobility, right? The title of nobility is why they say noble in front of Drew Ali. Now when so he also had a name that didn't have, like this would be called a European name, right? Or a Christian name. So this name got taken out because he can't call himself a Christian name if he says he's not black. If you say I'm not black, then you can't have a Christian name. What's your name?
Aquinas.
All right. Now, what else is on your name? Aquinas what?
Aquinas Fairfax.
Huh?
Aquinas Fairfax.
All right. So, because you said you're not black, then you have to have Bay
L.
or L after Faircloth. You have to have one of these if you're not black, right? So you're gonna say right now that this is your name.
And because if I am black, if I am black, I should have both of those names. But if I'm not black, I should have both those names after.
Right, exactly. Right. Right? And then eventually, when you get old enough and you can name yourself, then you're probably going to get rid of all this and you're going to come up with your own name. But because you're a minor right now, you have guardian. And your guardian is your mom and your dad, and then your big brother when your mom and your dad are not around or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, for now, you're going to be Aquinas Faircloth, right?
Yes.
When you study some more, you're going to be Aquinas Faircloth, either Bay or L, when they ask your name. You're not going to say just this only. You're going to say this and one of these. And then when you get older, you might not even have any of this, and then you're going to say something else. Whatever your name means to you, that'll be up to you. when you get there. Right? Okay? So you're doing the same thing that Noble Drew Ali did, is that you're correcting your status. And your status means how the world is going to look at you. And you don't want the world to look at you like you're black. So what happens to black people? Good stuff or bad stuff? Right? And that's because they call themselves black. And then black is negative. Right? Black is not positive. Black is not good. The most poisonous spider is black spider. The most poisonous snake is black snake. Right?
I think that's why the negative on the car battery is black.
Right?
Oh yeah, and that's why they call it black. That's why they call it black. A black spider with a triangle at the back. They call it black widow.
Widow. Most dangerous spider. Right? And then also too, one more thing that you're gonna do too is that when you talk about Noble Drew Ali, sometimes you're gonna say this in front of it. You know what this word is? Profit. Yeah. So that's your homework. You're gonna look up profit in the dictionary, and next week you're gonna tell us what profit is. All right? You sure? All right. This is from Brother Bomani Abdul El-Bey. Islam Brother Kudro and Canaanland family. I'm on the precipice of proclaiming nationality, getting my nationality card, Fez, and all of that, and contributing to the movement. I have a lot more studying to do though, but there's a certain loneliness that comes with this awakening. It's guaranteed. Nobody else around here is on this or even feel like there is anything wrong with walking around head held high being Negro black colored. As long as they eating good, effing good, and getting money and they could care less about divine and national movement. Talking about birthrights around here is just like trying to I don't know what that is. I'm at Dallas, Fort Worth territories, and there ain't a Fez in sight as far as the eyes can see in any direction. I think there may be a temple down in Houston territories, but I haven't confirmed that yet. I'll run into a more who knows there are more sooner or later. Shout out to Canaanland, Brother Master Teacher Tahir Tariq Bey, Abdullah Mozi Bey, Moreno L. Bey, Brother Mario, Sister Rosmariah Bey, and the rest for keeping it on the level and putting the teachings out there. My question is, once officially navigating as a Moor in full life in propria persona, how do you begin to start contracting once again? Example, opening bank account, applying for loans, getting business licenses to open businesses, etc. Basically, once you unplug from the matrix, how do you plug back in and continue to operate to make a living? How do you function in propria persona when everything is pretty much set up for the straw man? I know the Prophet Noble Drew Ali says, do not throw away the straw and do all business in your new name. Does he mean do all new business in your new appellation? I conceptually understand XREL and how that relates to the straw and old business. So I guess my real question is there a platform where new business can be done with contracts if needed, not under yoke of U.S. corporate structure? I'm still learning. Any knowledge you can drop on that is of course appreciated. I'll keep tuning into the live streams and continue to go to RV Bay Publications for info. So we'll do with the last part of it. The real question, is there a platform where new business can be done with contracts if needed, not under the yoke of USA? When we this concept right here, there's never an unplugged from the system, or an unplugged from the matrix, or off the grid, or whatever. Because we're always going to be tied to mother, right? Matrix is mother. To unplug from the matrix is being born on the earth plane and cut the cord. Little sister unplugged from the matrix. Right? She's unplugged from the matrix. She's not attached to her mother anymore. That's the only unplugging of the matrix that we're really going to do. Because when we look out here, you know what I mean? Noble Ali told us that, hey, I'm going to leave some fine buildings here for the Moors. Buildings aren't 4 hours north or whatever. Buildings are around here. So there's not really an unplugging like that. The unplug is really of the mental slavery. Plugging yourself out from that, from the misconceptions that we've had about, you know, who we are, thinking that we're birth certificates and thinking that we're licenses and thinking that we're all these things, to now coming into, oh, we actually don't need those things to be who we are. Well, then how are we going to be who we are if we don't need these things? Well, the problem is that the people who have given you those things gave you those things because they set up a structure where you need to have these things. And now we're coming out from realizing that we're tied to this structure, right? Again, the issue is that what Noble Ali taught Moors in the 1900s was self-sufficiency. Was if you have to where new business can be done with contracts if needed, not under the yoke of U.SA, would be dealing with Moors. Would be going to Moorish butcher if you want butcher stuff. Go to Moorish whatever to get your suits made and all that. You go to Moorish grocery store, Moorish version of whatever. Now, keep in mind that in these times, when you say Moorish, you got to look at it like Asiatic. So Asiatic stuff should be supported. Now, you know, you have to be mindful because you have Asiatics that got plastic rice and plastic noodles and certain things that you might not really want to buy from them. Just because they're Asiatics, we're going to go get rice from them. Well, maybe not, really. Because you really don't know sometimes what these guys got, right? And again, it goes back again to the whole thing of the mental slavery that, you know, like, you have to be in a warped mindset to think, make plastic rice instead of grow it. And then sell the plastic rice. Right? That's like their mental slavery. Right? Just like we were talking with brother last week about his Negro black colored wasn't the label. His Negro black colored was because he had a birth certificate. His Negro black colored wasn't because somebody branded him as something that he's not. His Negro black color is somebody gave him an instrument and has him thinking he's this instrument. That's written in all caps, and that is you know, not following the rules of grammar and doing things that are contrary to common sense and logic. And realizing that, hold on a second, these things happening are contrary to, then there has to be a way out of this, and then he's deciding, well, you know, as an Asiatic, he's deciding, well, I'm going to go and see what the Moorish thing is saying. Just like the brother saying, the Prince Hall Mason that realized something, and he's taking Moorish information because you know he sees Moors and Fezes in the underground. He was a Fez as a Mason, so this stuff must apply to me, even though it wasn't really digested on the intricate details of, you know, what he has a tassel, but his is tacked down, and his Fez has stuff on it, while our Fez is clean, and you know what I mean? Their grand potentate is their prophet, whereas, you know, our prophet is universal, you know what I mean? So certain things don't get looked at, but everybody has their Negro black color that they're dealing with, right? But they all have the ability to go back to their ancient foremothers and forefathers' way of life, but they can't do that as a foreigner. They're gonna have to go back to the land of their ancient foremothers and forefathers, or get down with what the Aboriginal indigenous people are doing here, side with them, support them, show them your allegiance, and then see where things go from there. Because we already know that majority of the people have showed their allegiance to the corporate states, received their little benefits or whatever, and they're kind of all right, except for the Indians. But you know, Syrians, they're coming here, they're getting 4-bedroom house or whatever like that, right? Whatever people coming here from some war-torn country, when they come here, they're getting, you know what I mean, some type of 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, whatever apartment. They got people on 50-year apartment lists and stuff like that here. They've been on the list forever. Can't even get an apartment. People just came here from Syria yesterday, and they got 4-bedroom house. The people here have nothing, and they're complaining about, hey, you guys need to provide something. Oh, no, we can't do that. I mean, we're strapped for cash and all that stuff. We can't even build a subway and all that stuff. We got issues. But Syrians and whoever else, they can come over and everything's, you know what I mean? They got people coming to bringing them jackets to the airport. They're coming off the plane into a jacket. Off the plane into a jacket, because you know this is not their climate. They're not used to this. Snow and stuff like that. What are you talking about? And you know? Canada Goose, not even like low-end jacket, not hand-me-down, out the plastic jacket these people are getting, off the plane, because the Canada Goose guys donate, make their stuff look good, you know, because they're helping the refugees. But the refugees at home, you know, they do want those people, right? So the real deal is, you know, supporting Moors, but then, you know, Moors have to also have the businesses to be supported, you know. So, like Brother Omar and I were talking coming up here, you know, we're caught in a catch-22 with this, because we're, you know, we don't have nothing to do with the system, but then, you know, this marker comes from somebody that's part of the system, and chairs right there came from someone that's part of the system, and you know, we gotta fix that window. That glass is gonna come from somewhere that's part of the system. And it's like, okay, well, you know, what do? We leave all old business as it is. This is why Noble Jawadi made the stuff real simple. Leave all old business as it is, all new business, do it in free national name. New business means anything after the day that you said, I'm a Moor, proclaim my nationality, declare it, I have allegiance with the Moors. The day after that is when you start exercising in the newness. And the old stuff, it's there still. It's not going anywhere, it's going to be there. But you're going to be learning how to live within contracts to deal with those things. That's where the contracts study comes in. Learning how to deal with those things that aren't in that name, that's not you anymore. How you deal with those, and then moving forward, how you. So, with your free national name, you're not gonna get loan and apply for whatever stuff that we see we got in the straw name. So if you got into that, when we just, so if I say Cujo, then that means there's a clean credit bureau, I should be able to get anything. Not really. It doesn't really work like that. It doesn't work like that. Don't get too caught up. If you're saying national, if you're saying whatever, then it'll probably be in your best interest to have some type of trade or something like that. Know how to do something that you can tell people, oh, well, my services are whatever in order for you to live or whatever. Because the idea of, well, just get a job in the free national name. Yeah, you could do it, you know, but it's only going to last for so long because these people are not going to pay your taxes forever. As soon as you get that quote-unquote job in your free national name, no longer could they take taxes off. And if there's a quote-unquote employee to be counted that's not paying taxes, then that means they gotta pay. Because that person has to be accounted for. No different than school. Every seat in the school, that's $250 to $500 that the seat costs. Whether students in it or not, board's getting their fiat at the end of the year when they send in the attendance records and prove that, you know, oh yeah, we had this much, you know what I mean, enrollment. All right, enrollment, that means that you get whatever, how much ever for next year. Regardless of who's in the seat, whether the seat's empty or not empty, right? So they're gonna make sure that they get theirs in different ways. They're gonna make sure that they get theirs in different ways. At the same time, making sure that we don't get ours. So you have, for example, you know, you have this jurisdiction, quote unquote, called Canada, and then you go through all throughout from East Coast to West Coast, and every single quote unquote province has a vaccination exempt form, except Quebec. And then all the other provinces, you can use whatever means as far as like qualifying why you're exempt. Witnesses, pastor, religious somebody, whatever. Quebec, nothing. Nothing in existence called you can't exempt. Their position is you're getting vaccinated. Because, you know, we're our own sovereign jurisdiction. In our sovereign jurisdiction, you have to get it. There's no exemption pass, but we haven't found it yet. Now we got more looking, everything comes up is other provinces, nothing, zero information on vaccinating or being exempt from vaccination in Quebec. So they set up their jurisdiction and then they let you go in it. And then you try to exercise and then now you're getting hampered and not recognizing that it's the jurisdiction that's the problem. But then if you're claiming the jurisdiction that's a corporate jurisdiction, well, then I mean, that's what you're going to get. And this is where again it comes into Moors being active and exercising their right and taking the position of, well, if there's no form, then I guess we got to create it. And then we create the form. And we put our sigils on it and we send that and say that's the form. That's the exemption form. Because, you know, based on the track record of vaccinations, and then you show all the proof of all the BS that happens to people when they get vaccinated, which is why you're not going to subject your children to that. And then, you know, whatever happens after that is going to go down, right? But one, again, there's no unplugging from the matrix, because if you're not attached to your mom, you're unplugged. Being that we're on the earth plane in this warped existence, right? You know, bathroom sides with half a guy and half a girl and stuff like that. Like, stuff is crazy out here. Being that it's this crazy, one thing is, you know, focus on your studying so you're not distracted by this crazy stuff going on, right? And when you're focusing on your studying, keep in mind that there are other Moors that are on that frequency, just like the brother said in the email. You are going to draw these people to you once your mind is in that place. Once your mind is in the place of knowing what it is that Noble Drew Ali brought and what he presented, and other people knowing that, you will come together. And the coming together is the idea of the unity that everybody says, oh yeah, we want unity, so we're all going to meet at Queen's Park, and then that's unity. No, that's just barbecue. You know what I mean? Who has the burgers? You know what I mean? And that's it. The unity is everybody thinking on the same mind frame. Again, which is why Noble Drew Ali presented the 101 questionnaire, the 101 questions, and religiously catechism, something to that effect, of everybody being on the same mind frame. Literature that's saying the same thing that everybody can relate to, so they can have the same mindset. Right? This is why I know all these books are small, so everybody could get it. It's not supposed to be, hard to get, hard to digest. Brother Santra L. I appreciate all of everyone's efforts at keeping classes going. I also called in, and the last caller was talking about Moors, talking about healthcare, and if anyone had knowledge to share. I know of at least 3 common plants that provide protection from certain cancers. I'll put together a video to refer to them. Some are already made, and some I'm sure will help a lot of Moors out. So that was from the last class that we did on MHHS. Somebody was calling in requesting that if Moors have information with regard to holistic health, changing your diet, all that type of stuff, that they start putting that information out. So Moore was just replying to that. And again, if that is something, I know Brother Bakari said that he's working on something. But if there is the possibility of Moors being able to, even if you have to send them to us and we upload them, there's a need out there for people to better their health and all that.
So much information.
Huh?
There's so much.
Yeah.
In the country before the war started. I mean, it's literally.
Well, I think it's just like if we look at it like with this info, there's so much stuff about how this doesn't work. You know what I mean? The same thing with people doing the health research. Like unless they have somebody like we have, like we use we have our core people. You know what I mean? Queen Afua, Layla Africa, Sabi. Even Brother Aleem, there's certain people that we would just use. That's just who we use. They know other options but them ones. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, just like we say Taj, Raz, whatever like that. That's what we stick to as far as who we study from. But people always get caught up in the other stuff that's out there and get themselves in whatever. So like even there was people who had fraudulent Dr. Sebi products out there. You know what I mean? Right? And literally damaging people. But that's because of the name of this individual. You know what I mean? That was so on it. He was so on it that they had to get him out of the way and make sure that the things that's left over, it's no different than some entertainment, whoever dies and then the whole family's fighting over the estate. you know, and then you got cousins never you even heard from, whoever, but all of a sudden, you know what I mean, they know about some stuff and they're part of the will and all that, you know. So yeah, you know, so we'll put it out there just for Mars to if you got some health info, if you've been, you know what I mean, on your holistic, vegan, whatever, for the past however long, you know what I mean, make some videos, send them in. You can use WeSendIt.com. WeSendIt.com, a website that you can send big files for free. So you use WeSendIt and you can send your videos to Canaanlandguide@gmail.com and we'll upload them to YouTube. And also too, don't forget, all you dirty Moors out there, you can send your videos, but we screen the videos before we upload them. So don't think you're just gonna, oh yeah, just send it to them and put it up. No, those we watch before we upload. Alright. 2 more questions, it looks like. Sister Najwa L. I'm trying to find some information about this trust as referenced in this video. I heard you say the trust Prophet Noble Juali set up personally is not the same trust the temples are operating or espousing today, and that it has been financially drained by infiltrators. I saw this video, but do not know if I should pursue the information these members are conveying. To me, they sound true and exact, but I am asking for clarification for you on this subject. At present, I cannot pull up the information on my phone. If time permits, we will look into this. So you're gonna go to Brother Moreno Bay YouTube page. He just put up a video dealing with trust. Suggest that everybody go watch that video so they can have a clear understanding of what it is before engaging. As well, when it comes to Moorish Science Temple of America Trust, know that European foreign corporations are on that trust too. Just know that. Right? That's not just a trust exclusive to Moors. There's European corporations that are using that jurisdiction. What are they using it for? I don't know. Why their names on it, how it got there, I don't know. But considering that there's European corporations on the Noble Juali Moorish Science Temple of America Trust, then there's been infiltration. People in our midst have done the other way. Right? So especially when it's Moors talking about Moorish Science Temple of America Trust. Right? Be wary of that. Moors talking about study trust law so that you can you know, create trust for yourself so that you can pass everything down to your progeny. Yeah, that's just info. You know what I mean, that's just information that's out there. Feel free to study it. If you find it applicable, apply it, because as individuals with a judicial proclamation, we have judicial authority to exercise certain things. And you know, keep in mind that like Brother Mario was stating in the video, trust law and everything relative means nothing without this. If you have no trust, let me talk about no trust law and all that stuff, because trust is not going to work anyways. You're still going to steal your stuff when you put it in trust, which is why the thing was able to be infiltrated. Because what Noble Juali set up as far as a trust was compromised. This is how you have European foreign corporations in the Moorish Science Temple of America Trust, right? So as far as research on it, the most important thing of the trust is the fact that you have a nationality, which makes you a beneficiary of the trust, and that the deed or the allodial title for your estate is in chapter 47 in your Holy Quran. Right? So chapter 47 of your Holy Quran is the quote-unquote deed of conveyance for your estate. And your nationality card is the proof that you're a beneficiary. Right? You're Noble Drew Ali set up something for the Moors. By having Moorish American nationality, then everything is going to the beneficiaries that he did. Again, our issue is that the beneficiaries, some of them sold out. And they sold out all the stuff. It's not like they sold out their little portion as a beneficiary. So, you know, it ain't no big deal because we still have everything still. They sold out everything. And when you, again, when you look at organizations, associations, etc., founded when Noble Drew Ali founded his stuff in 1913, see if they're still around today and where we're at. And if those people are still around, then, you know, if we go, you know, all the corporations, Asiatic, whatever, that started in 1913 to 2017, whoever's still around, know they had a hand in you losing your birthright. And some of them that are still around, Federal Reserve, Vatican, right? Those two main ones that are still around today, all right? Select few others. So I'm not saying that there's not a trust. There is a trust, but because of it being compromised, it might not be in your best interest to even consider that. Last question. Speaking to an elder, they said it's the truth of what we are telling them, but they're still stuck in the ways. They would like to know what could help them clear up that mindset. What would help them clear up that mindset? The mindset of being stuck in their ways. Me personally, if anybody is over the age of, as far as age qualifying as an elder, say 55 to 60, we'll say. 55 to 60, YouTube search this man, this Moor, this master teacher, this adept, and watch his videos. I would suggest that you look at things that don't look HD. The videos with Taj Tariq Bey that don't look HD, go watch those. As far as the elders are concerned, right? Because we know that the teachings of Taj Tariq Bey talks to spirit man. The teachings of Taj Tariq Bey talks to the individual within you that always knew that something was wrong, but you never ever listened to that person. You always listen to all these other voices that you heard, but the voice in yourself that knew something was wrong, the voice in yourself that every time you went against that voice, stuff happened or whatever. Every single time the voice said, hey, don't go down there, and then you went down there, something happened. Every time.
If me didn't know.
Right? 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 So, for the elders, you know what I mean? You know, it's a different relation with people under 55. Right? Because, you know, people under 55, you know, Todd Street Bay is Goliath killer. Right? Above 55, Todd Street Bay is your brother that has some type of, you know what I mean, spiritual whatever connection to a creator or whatever, because when you talk, and this is coming from people who are elders that study from him, right? There's reference points that he touches that only people in that generation are gonna be able to relate to. Certain things that they might have heard their grandparents or whatever like that talking about. They might have heard those things. And in them hearing those things, through him, it's gonna send them back. Like Back to the Future. Right? They're just gonna shoot into this existence with a whole different perspective of what everything is. What everything is. Because he touches everything, as we know. There's no topic he doesn't get into. He'll touch every topic. And in him touching every topic, guarantee these so-called elders that, well, I hear what you guys are saying, you know, but because of the thing of, you know, these are young people that's telling them something that they don't know, so they get offended, like, you know, how are you telling me or whatever. No different than, you know, baby say something that your grandma told you. And you're wondering how she know. How you know stuff about stuff before you were around. But that's how spirit works. And that's where Brother Taj Tariq Bey would go with people who are quote unquote elders. You just let them, you just find, you know, go through some titles. Driver's License Fraud 1 and 2. Divine Warning by the Prophet for Nations. All these are on YouTube. Divine Nation, who runs the Moorish Science Temple of America? Addressing misconceptions of the Moorish movement. Those 5. Let's say those 5, right? Show them those 5 videos, guarantee they're gonna come to you talking about how do they proclaim their nationality. It's a guarantee. Alright? So, that's it for today. Islam to all the Moors. For their time, anybody got any closing questions or comments? You got anything, Omari?
No, just again, classes on Fridays, 7:30 till when we finish talking.
Till.
Dot. Open for that. Also, the end of the month is coming. If you haven't already, please forward all dues, donations to myself.
Oh yeah, as you said that, just repeat that thing you said about this speculative with the dues thing again.
Oh, yeah. Please forward all dues, donations to us, myself or Cujo. Now in regards to speculative and operative, if you did not pay your dues, you are suspended. Period. And in order for you to be reinstated, whatever you have not paid over the time you were suspended, you have to get up to date with that. So if you're gone for 2 years, you have to be up to date 2 years to get back that information.
Now, you know, we're not saying we do that. We're just bringing dues into perspective so that people can consider how important dues are to some other organizations. And, you know, those organizations that they took dues serious, you know, they got hospitals and they could shut the city down, have a parade and all that stuff, right? Because they have something to show, right? So
in regards to that, as I said, like in regards to what he told me is, if you're not paying your dues, you're not getting information. And that's the part that...
And they got an oath. So how,
and
like, how much
You're not
Stuff
paying
they
your
want.
dues, you're not getting to the next level. You're not paying your dues like somebody's visiting you, type of thing. So, I said, we put it out there, you know, I mean, we're not begging you because this is your birthright, but at the end of the day, we gotta keep things going. So, again, get your dues and donations to myself or Cujo. Could you write it up there?
Yeah.
Like, put up the emails. If you're out of the Canaanland jurisdiction,
Just Sean Ham, right?
Sean L. Ham. If you're out of the jurisdiction of Canaanland, you could send it via PayPal or send it via international money order. Do not send a regular money order. It's not going to come. Or it will not be able to be cashed. But again, I stress, dues need to be paid. Simple as that. And donation.
Sean L. Ham at hotmail.com. That's PayPal. And if you're sending by mail, you can send to the temple address. Just look us up on Eglinton 2533A Eglinton West on 411.com. You'll get the address. And on international money orders. So wherever you go to get the money order, make sure you specify international money order, because apparently Canada's somewhere else in the world.
Yeah, I think, again, so Fridays, 7:30 until, and that's that.
Alright,
Islam.
Islam. You have anything on more? You straight?
Oh, just the summer solstice walk at Fort Erie.
Oh yeah, 40 Summer Solstice Walk on 24th, June 24th.
More info to come.
Yeah. If anybody has any bus links or whatever, we're looking to do a bus thing. Opposed to everybody driving their stuff up there, so traveling there. So, yeah, if anybody has any, you hear something or you see a bus pass by, say rent us, and there's a number, you know what I mean? Just send the number so we can look that up. Islam to all the Moors online. We'll just close out and that's it. We'll close out and that'll be it for today. Face the east, 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth. Peace. Freedom. And justice. Allah is my protector. My guide. And my salvation. By night. And by day. To his holy prophet. Noble Ali. Ameen. Ashe.
So I wanted to get that info that you
I'm a Moor, some call me Saracen, some Muslim. Europe had some dark age issues, I solved them. Using more science, I'm stating the obvious. Rapper drone stepped up from Kush to Molly blunts. Unawakened, unconscious, unaware Moors won't accept the fact, plus you looked up black or more. Moors the custodian of Kemetic Nubians, carrying the marvelous light, the path Negroes to Nubians, saying I'm a Moor, not colored or black. I'm a Moor, Seti or Enki, they can't change that, cause I know their hands don't extend past Allah's wisdom. I'm a Moor, no doubt a contradiction. Return to my own vine and fig tree. Nationality, a mind frame if you're with me. Reclaim your ancestral mind and shout.
It's mine, and if you don't like it, get the
Get out of here, man.
I'm a Moor. Red fez, black tas, elders of my class, not black or Indians. I repeat, I'm a Moor. Indigenous to the farthest west. Say we were great, still they say we the best. Hear what I say, I'm a Moor. Yes, it's true, if not for Drew Ali, most of y'all would've still been asleep. Now you could tell them I'm more than you could ever wish you thought you would be. 3 centuries deep in moral science, science, I read, study, I'm a Moor.
Rope on a peg, stuck in the shore. Oceanographic device anchored to sea floors. Goldfish of China and Japan. Veil tail variety, brushing the cold water plants. Stretches of lands, jungles are where sand blows. Reptilian species and amphibians homes. Defending Drew Ali, that's my mission. To put securely in place or desired position. Ancestral mindset, not thinking like the hybrids. Can't hide from a 10, so they mess with the climate. Mess with the minds, mess with the foods. Get violent about more subjugation. Your black leaders are quiet. Signed on to King Alfred, but they want you to riot. Pushing dogma as religion and want you to buy it. Most never do it, but they want you to try it. Too many have knowledge of self on the shelves and won't apply it.
I'm a Moor. Red fez, black tas, elders of my class, not black or Indians. I repeat, I'm a Moor. Indigenous to the farthest west. Say we were great, still they say we the best.
Hear what I say, I'm a Moor.
Yes, it's true, if not for Drew Ali, most of y'all would've still been asleep.
Now you could tell I'm a Moor.
Then you could ever wish you thought you would be. 3 centuries deep in moral science, I read, study,
I'm a Moor.